Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, a turn-based role-playing game where every choice that you make matters. From your character class to your attributes, feats, powers, morality, each decision directly impacts the way the game is played. But what if those decisions were random? What if you had no control over your build and had to adapt as the game went on? I'm Immortan Bill, and today, you're my warboys. Witness me as I beat Knights of the Old Republic with everything completely randomized. The rules are pretty simple. Our character and Jedi class is random. Every feat, attribute, skill, and force power is random. Our planet order is random, except for Yavin, which we can visit between planets at any time. Companions are randomly selected when choosing our planet, unless they're required for a specific section. Quest decisions are random if given the option, for example, collecting bounties on Terrace, betraying the hidden Becks, situations like that. Dialogue options, though, aren't going to be random because that would just take forever. The only ones that are random are what I think are morality checks. But sometimes I mess things up, so we'll just hope for the best there. Melee weapons, ranged weapons, lightsabers, offensive force powers are all allowed, but no telling which ones will unlock. And of course, we'll be playing the game on the hardest difficulty, difficult, to make things even more interesting. I really wish there was a mod that would select everything randomly for me, but instead we'll just be using dice from Google. Luckily, there are a lot of options with the dice, so we can make them fit whatever we need to. Starting with character selection, we roll a 6, giving us a female scoundrel, and then roll individually for attribute points with a final total of 12 strength, 15 dex, 11 constitution, 11 intelligence, 15 wisdom, and 12 charisma, which is about as good as I can ask for. For the most part, I'm not too worried about our skills since we'll be able to use companions, but we're able to max out stealth and put some points in persuade. But our feats immediately show off why this challenge is gonna be the worst. We roll power attack, and with our build, I doubt we'll even have a chance to use it until we get a lightsaber. And since everything is random and I'm being so random, I figure we should just make that our name.
I am so random. I can't believe I just did that. Sorry.
The Endar Spire is under attack, and apparently I downloaded the Gooner mod because, come on, man. What is this? Our slam pig / bunkmate Trask comes in to warn us and starts spouting off, we have to find Bastila. We need her to make it off the ship alive. You swore an oath. We? Just putting a lot of words in my mouth, man. But our woke king gives us a change of clothes and some weapons to facilitate our escape. As far as early combat goes, we're gonna be really trash for a while. Scoundrel is a great starting class, but our only combat feat being sniper shot is a major disadvantage. But I don't think it's actually possible to die on the Endar Spire, so we're just gonna go guns a-blazing. We reach the bridge and it's time for our first level up. I don't know what happened here, but somehow we roll 4 points into awareness. And for our feat, we have a somewhat good roll. Power Blast would be really helpful for Terrace, so for now, I'm okay with it. No, Trask. I meant I don't think it's possible for me to die on the Endar Spire. Brother, you are cooked. Ah, Trask, you were like a bunkmate. You will not be forgotten. And you know, it's kind of crazy. Trask put his life on the line. Meanwhile, Karth's just been sitting here doing nothing. Just saying. We hop in our escape pod, abandoning the Endar Spire for the closest planet, Terrace. Karth booked a hotel room to hide out in, and instead of taking some initiative to find Bastila, just sat around watching us sleep for a few days. Don't worry, bud. I'm up. I'll take care of it. In the future, our party slots will be random, but since Karth is the only option, we could just take him with us. We leave our hotel room and run into ice detaining some fishermen. Sorry, I mean narco terrorists. Very dangerous narco terrorists. Bro. Which brings us to our first alignment check. Later on, I switched to an actual spinner to make things easier to keep track of, but for now, evens are light side and odds are dark side. As we check out each apartment, we run into Dia and learn that she has a bounty on her head, but we'll decide whether to collect on it later. As we run around the upper city, we meet Zelka, who tells us about rat ghoul disease, and his totally not sketchy assistant Gurney lets us know the vaccine black market is actually popping. Me, Karth, 2 bounty hunters, we all team up against this criminal because he tried to scam our boy Davik. But luckily, the die was on his side and we let him go with a warning. The upper city apartments introduce us to Largo, and after rolling dark side, steal some credits in exchange to keep our mouths shut. But the Sith around the corner don't get that same luxury. After rolling light side, we refuse to let them kill a defenseless prisoner, and my God, they just beat my ass. Karth is really about to be the MVP here because clearly I'm useless. On the bright side, we get some Sith armor from the dead bodies, which we'll use to get to the lower city. The lower city is controlled by 2 gangs, the Black Vulkars and the Hidden Becks. And at this low of a level, they're actually pretty difficult to deal with. But Karth is just so damn strong, it doesn't even matter. The apartments down here are just crawling with bad guys too. Starting with Largo, who wouldn't let us rob him in peace, and now, man, I'm sorry, you gotta die. Entering Javiar's cantina, we meet Calo Nord, just a bad as hell little kid. I don't know why they decided to make him the ultimate aura farmer for this planet, but dude, it's just not working. Javiar's cantina is run by Zax, who has a bunch of bounties up for grabs, but the only one we can collect on for now is Matrix. We'll see what happens later. We also have our first introduction to Mission and Zalbar, but we'll talk about them more once we hit the Undercity. While exploring, we once again run into this bad little kid, and Blood is not tough. I just can't stand him. And Selvin, I'm sorry, I can't stand you either, but we'll collect her bounty later on. As we keep moving, we run into the Hidden Beck's base, where Gaden Thek, the leader of the Hidden Becks, tells us that not only has Bastila been found, she's currently a slave to the Black Vulkars, and the main prize in the Lower City Gang's swoop race. And Gaden, the saint that he is gonna let us race, as long as we can steal the prototype accelerator from the Vulkars. So, looks like there's no other option. We gotta hit the Undercity, find our way into their base. Don't get me started on this disgusting place full of false dreams, disease, and something called the Promised Land. We'll see about that. I do love that for anyone being somewhat conniving in this game, they just give them the same weaselly voice just so you know that they're up to no good. But hey, even if we can't trust them, we do get a pretty valuable upgrade for my gear with the Arcanian Heavy Pistol.
Run, Hindar, run!
Hindar, bud, I wish I could save you, but the dice said otherwise. I'm sorry, man. But I am going this way, so I guess we can get some revenge, but instead, absolutely cooked by a Rakghoul. So we're just going to take some initiative here, and we're leveling up both characters. We gain a point in strength and a point in persuade, stealth, and security. Karth, on the other hand, gets a crazy pull with improved power blast. And now that we found Mission, we have a third party member to help with our DPS. As we move through the wasteland, we run into Canderous, Mandalorian who may or may not be overcompensating with that blaster of his, but he helps us fight off a Rakghoul ambush, so he's cool in my book. We make our way to the sewers, searching for Zalbar and a side entrance to the Black Vulkar base. And it seems like our levels have finally scaled to a decent level with the enemies, because the Rakghouls and Gamorreans are starting to go down pretty easily. And with Zalbar rescued, we have a mandatory party selection screen and have to roll between him and Karth. Zalbar it is. We level him up and unlock Critical Strike. But to be fair, Zalbar already has improved power attack, so he should just be a tank through these next sections. Oh yeah, dude. Zalbar's the meta, no doubt about it. But our health's looking low and we have some levels to give, so let's ride. We get skill points in Demolitions, Security, and Treat Injury, unlock Sneak Attack 3, and we roll Toughness. All that's left is to take care of this Rancor, and we're into the Vulkar base. With Zalbar leading the way, we absolutely rip through this place. With his health pool and just crazy damage, he tanks everything while we just shoot from behind cover. And in the spirit of randomness, once we reach the prototype accelerator, we have a tough decision. Stick with the Hidden Becks and kill everyone here, or switch sides and betray Gaden. And for this special occasion, we have our brand new spinner to judge alignment checks. So for this scenario, light side will be sticking with the Hidden Becks, and dark side is switching to the Black Vulkars. Looks like we're joining the Vulkars, boys. Oh, yeah, I mean, this might be good for XP, but I really didn't want to deal with another fight. In the scuffle, Mission got another level, gaining a bunch more skill points and unlocking Gearhead, which I guess is good since it's Mission. Man, I was way too casual going into this. Mission's down, Zalbar's down, and we're forced into another level up, putting all our points into stealth and awareness. Things got pretty scary here, but after 10 minutes or so of just training Zerdra around, we're finally able to finish her off. This one hurts. Gaden, I didn't want to have to do this, but the dice wants what the dice wants. The Hidden Becks are destroyed, letting our Black Vulkars rise up. Prototype or no prototype, the swoop race is an absolute joke when you play on PC. All you need to do is intentionally miss some boosts on the first heat, and the final is honestly nice and easy. Hold your applause, hold your applause. I may be the #1 swoop racer in Terrace, but inside I'm just a person like the rest of you. Until Bregic, that little rat, tries to cheat me out of my prize. Even Bastila said, man, what the hell is this guy talking about, and breaks out. So of course we had to show him what happens to rats around these parts of the galaxy. Back in our hideout, Bastila and I share a vision. She was beating off Revan, and Revan was beating her down back. The whole thing got hot and sweaty and woke us up in a stir. We venture out rolling Bastila and Zalbar, which is super convenient because now we have some force powers to work with. And to make Bastila a little stronger, we roll Constitution as our attribute, Security as our skill, and Fear as our force power, and that's actually really good. Our next level up gives us Computer Use and Force Valor. Our final level up rolls demolitions, weapon proficiency lightsaber, and burst of speed. Bastila is by far our best companion, and it's not even close. We receive a message that Candace wants to meet us in Javiar's cantina, but we have a few things to take care of along the way. Since we're back in the area, we check in on Dia and roll Darkside to collect that bounty of hers. As we stop by Zelka's, we learn he's illegally harboring Republic fugitives. Boy, I tell you, he's lucky I rolled light side, because not only will I not say anything, but this means he also gets the Rakghoul serum. But to keep the force balanced, we roll Darkside and decide to take up Largo's bounty. Candace starts flirting a little bit because we're just so impressive and so irresistible. And he has a plan for us to get off Terrace. He wants to break into the military-occupied Sith base, steal the launch code so we can then steal a ship from the most powerful guy on the planet. Sounds simple, right? The only problem is that once we start this quest line, we'll essentially be done with Terrace, so we're going to finish up a couple remaining quests first. We collect all our available bounties from Zax, roll Darkside to ruin this crazy old man's dreams of the Promised Land, and defeat everyone in the dueling ring.
Walking up, but it's just me. Now it's just three. Now it's just two. Now it's just me.
Including killing Bendak Starkiller and getting our new best-in-slot pistol. All that's left to do is pick up our best boy, T3, and we're off to the Sith base. So the way I'm doing this roll for our party members is, since T3 is only mandatory to open the door, I'll roll after the door is open. This way, everyone has an equal shot. God damn it, man. I was really hoping to not have to use T3, but okay, him and Zalbar it is. And I will say, the Sith base went much smoother than expected. The combo of T3's computer use and Zalbar just, again, tanking everyone is actually unmatched. We even rolled Lightside and saved this guy in the first try of the puzzle. Gotta tell you, it feels good to give back. The only difficult spot is dealing with the Sith governor. The guy does serious damage, but we put down a bunch of mines in preparation to help us out a little bit. Now, I was no help at all, but of course, Zalbar's got us covered. With the governor dead, we have the launch codes. Now we just need a ship. Good old Candace has a plan for that as well. With his help, we're gonna steal the Ebon Hawk from Davik. Candace is a mandatory party member here, so we roll and get T3 again. I love the guy, but come on, man. First order of business, we gotta do some levels. Again, we get Gearhead, an absolutely useless feat for a character like Candace, followed up with another useless feat, blaster pistol weapon focus. There's really nothing we can do about it now. We're just going to take advantage of Candace's healing factor and use him as a melee tank, and hopefully me and T3 can help out a little bit. The Sith are bombing the planet and we only have a limited amount of time. All that stands in our way are Davik and that weird little kid again. But we just throw a couple of nades and this freak decides to KMS himself? So yeah, problem solved there. We board the Ebon Hawk and fly off as Terrace is annihilated. Our only safe haven? Dantooine. After touching down on Dantooine, the Jedi Council asks us to meet them. So we roll to see who our companions are for the planet, and we get Candace and Zalbar. Dude, Zalbar is just our #1 boy right now. The Jedi Council tells us that not only do we share a link with Bastila, but the visions we're sharing are crazy important, and we need to figure out what's going on. And to do so, we need to become a Jedi. Win-win, if you ask me. Between our 3 options, a consular would fit our build the best, so we're praying for a 3. And we get it. Since we stayed at level 6 as a scoundrel, we'll have plenty of consular levels in the future. But for now, we add a point to repair, armor proficiency medium, which we'll actually never use since we have force powers, and our 2 force powers are energy resistance and shock. That is nuts. And with our new lightsaber, we have our best in slot weapon, until we can add some upgrades to it at least. But we have one final test before joining the Order. There's been a blight in the ancient grove, and it's up to us to figure out what's going on. Our main enemies on Dantooine are Cathhounds, and it might sound easy, but right now we're still severely underleveled. We start off with Zalbar with skill points in demolitions, awareness, and treat injury. As for feats, he gets dueling. And for me, attribute point in strength, skill point in awareness, and our new force power is affect mind. We find that the taint of the ancient grove is being caused by Juhani, a Padawan who's fallen to the dark side after seemingly killing her master. After a small fight, we say, baby girl, calm down. You're tweaking out a bit too much, and we just send her back to the Jedi Council. With Juhani redeemed, we've been accepted as a Padawan, and just need to investigate the ancient ruins. Basil is a mandatory party member at this point, and our other member is... Oh, come on, not Mission, man. See, the problem here is that Mission is great for her skills, but is a non-factor in combat, and that's literally all we're about to do. But we'll level her up because she's just god-awful right now. And since we're doing some leveling, Bastila gets some useless skills, but we get gifted with horror. Bastila is by far our best companion, until we level her up one more time and get caution. I swear, dude, these random feats are gonna be the death of me. The game takes, and then it gives back. Force Whirlwind is game-changing. On our way to the ruins, we run into some rogue Mandalorians for some free XP. That's only the first wave. The second group is much stronger, killing Bastila almost instantly, but Critical Strike puts them to sleep for some easier kills. But the final group is no joke. The leader, Sherrick, will essentially one-shot us if he gets close enough. So what do? Man, we're just chucking nades and hoping for the best. There's no other option. And it really is impossible to explain just how good Force Whirlwind is. Getting access to defenseless hits like this is huge damage. After killing off all these Mandalorians, our blood's still boiling, so we stop by the Sandral estate to solve some of this beef. We rescue Shen and get stuck in a good old-fashioned standoff. What do? Well, the spinner has us going light side, so we're going to try to resolve this as smoothly as possible, which really doesn't go too well, but Shen and Rahasia are happy, so I guess we're happy? No more getting sidetracked. We're going to the ruins. We walk in and get greeted by this racist little robot. My man, you cannot be talking about slaves like that. It is 2025, my God. To gain access to the main door, we need to pass 2 tests, which are just killing 2 robots and having a minimal amount of literacy. I don't know, man. Doesn't seem like the best way to guard the Starforge, but that's just me. The secret from our vision is revealed. Inside the ruins is a star map, one of multiple pieces that leads to the Starforge. And it's kind of crazy that we tell the council about this and they say, yes, the Starforge. We do not know what it is, but it certainly brought Revan and Malak to the dark side. You know what? You should go find it. Me? Man, you guys just keep volunteering me for stuff. Whatever, I'm in. Let's do it. But first, we get to visit Yavin. Yavin is some of the best items in the game and a stock that increases in power the further you get into the story. Since we've only found 1 star map, our options are pretty limited, but these advanced stabilizer gloves are a must-buy. As we said earlier, our planet order is also random, so we're really hoping to avoid harder planets like Korriban for now. And we roll. 5. Tatooine. Perfect. I swear, Tatooine is my usual first planet, so this is actually great. You know the drill. Time to roll for our companions. Bastila and Zalbar. Dude, Zalbar is just everywhere right now. We're going to start things off by giving Zalbar a level, and the only eventful part here is that we unlocked empathy. So at least he'll be more persuasive now. As we walk into Anchorhead, we meet a beggar and kindly buy some spice off of her for some light side points. But the problem here is we can't sell the spice without a hunting license. So we stop by the local Zerka office and come to a deal that if we kill some sand people, which is totally a politically correct thing to say, she'll give us a hunting license. But it turns out the sand people might not be so bad. And the only reason they've been attacking people is because there's been a hostile takeover of their homeland from an outside source, radically abusing their natural resources until the only option left available is to fight back. I don't know about all of that, but we'll keep it in mind. As usual, we skip the swoop registration because I really just can't be bothered. And around the corner, see these 3 just stand up. But you know what? That ain't a problem for a gal like me. We reach a droid shop and see an interesting, let's call him a protocol droid, standing in the corner. And hey, I would have spent the 4,000 credits. It's not my fault the spinner wants me to be evil. But you know what? HK-47 is also like completely psychotic, so maybe it's better off this way. Start our relationship on a good note. Since we're at a mandatory party screen, we need to decide if we'll be going about the Sand People quest with a light side or dark side approach. And we spin light side, making HK a mandatory party member, with our next companion being Karth. The kid, the boy wonder. Love having him back, but I have to admit I'm very nervous to do this without force powers. As far as level ups go, we roll empathy. This has to be just a record number of bad feats. Our next level gives us dueling, which completely contradicts our 2-weapon fighting, followed up with an attribute in charisma and improved power attack. It's really possible that Karth has the worst build of our entire party. HK is much easier. He doesn't have many options. We get an attribute point in dexterity, some random skills, and a weapon focus in heavy weapons. We're in rough shape, I gotta say. But with our levels taken care of, it's time to hit the Dune Sea. We run into Tanis, and this man is in rough shape after being caught cheating. And it's about to get a whole lot worse because we rolled dark side. But what is up with people in this game trying to KMS themselves? This is crazy. This is twice already. In the middle of the Dune Sea, we reach a sand crawler being ambushed by waves of sand people. And this really sets the standard for how powerful these guys are. Or, I guess on the other hand, how weak we are. The first wave alone drained half our force points and nearly killed HK. I hate to say it, but we need to use these miners as bait. I think it's pretty clear. Everyone needs a level. For skills, we roll computer use, and our next force power is throw lightsaber. Why? HK gets some computer use and security, and Karth gets toughness, which isn't the best, but honestly, with the rate we've been getting feats, it could be much worse. Since we're taking the light side route, we steal some sand people clothing and head off into their territory. We speak to the chieftain, and he tells us that they'll all chill out if we can bring him some moisture evaporators. And you know what? Seems like a fair enough deal to me. He also gives us a map of the Eastern Dune Sea, so this is a win in my book. Plus, Zerka has no clue, and we make out like bandits with some credits.
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be?
Brother, what do you mean how big can this dragon be? Look, it's right there. A crate dragon blocks our path to the next star map, but that doesn't get a guy like Comad down. He hatches a plan to use banthas as bait to draw out the dragon, and that would be fine if the banthas weren't being protected by elite sand people. My God, dude, these guys are strong. I really wish we could end this partnership amicably, but I gotta listen to the die. It's not my fault the game wants me to be a menace. We reach the end of the Crate Dragon Cave to find our second star map, but that's only the start of our problems. We have a major fight coming up, and we need all the levels we can get. For skills, we roll demolitions. We have 2 force powers, giving us force lightning, no way. And our second power, dominate mind. Karth gets an upgrade in demolitions and a weapon focus in blaster rifles. And who's waiting for us as we walk out of the cave? The goddamn bad little kid, Calo Nord. I can't stand Calo Nord. Just look at these guys, stanced up like they're the Ginyu Force. And what's even worse, crazy strong for absolutely no reason. Our only option to attempt staying alive is to level up. Our attribute roll is intelligence, get a skill point in persuade, unlock caution as our feat, and improved energy resistance as our power. Absolutely no help at all. With the help of some nades and Karth's just pristine shooting, Calo Nord is dead, giving us one of our best in slot armors for any companion who can wear it. And just like that, we made it through Tatooine, and it's time to roll for our next planet. And the dice gods give us, oh fuck, Korriban. Korriban really feels like a worst case scenario. At this point in the game, we're not ready to deal with force wielders. On top of that, Bastila is crazy paranoid and won't leave the ship, so our only other force user is possibly Juhani. On our roll for party members, we get Canderous and Zalbar. Dude, this has just been crazy. Before we get started, we have some leveling to do. Zalbar gets some more skills and improved dueling. Worst case scenario for someone I want to dual wield. Canderous gets some more charisma and also rolls dueling. Why? Followed up with improved power attack, sniper shot, and conditioning. At least conditioning is actually a good roll. The first thing we do in Korriban is try to turn things around with some light side. Everyone here is so dark and moody. We need to bring some Christmas cheer. Even though everyone here tries to tempt us, we stand strong preaching the light. But that won't get us into the Sith Academy. We need to show them that we're as bad as the rest of them. We trick this poser outside to try and kill a guard, just to show off how bad we really can be. But unfortunately, that won't be enough. So we reach out to Yuthura Ban to see if she can get things moving in our direction. Apparently, the only rule here is that to have any power, you need to get some wicked face tats. Uthar tells us that we can have face tats too, but only if we gain enough prestige to take the final test. But would it be a story about the Sith if they weren't all betraying each other? Yuthura lets us know that with a little girl power, we can take care of Uthar. And honestly, not a bad idea. Down with the patriarchy, am I right? And there's a bunch of different options to gain prestige. We start off by interrogating this Mandalorian prisoner, and listen, I didn't know this would give me dark side points, so please don't get mad at me. We studied hard and learned the Sith code, and since those 4 lines are so difficult to remember, Uthar is really impressed. Exploring the Shyrak caves, we encounter the renegade students, and our spinner demands we try to save them from their former Sith ways. Too bad their goddamn paranoid asses thought we were lying. Look what you made me do. On to our main points of prestige, the tombs of the previous Sith Lords. The tomb of Ajunta Paul is pretty simple. Ajunta is a sad, misunderstood emo boy, and the test he gives us is to find his old blade, which is obviously the notched steel sword. Surely that didn't take more than one try to figure out. And of course, this freak tries to rob us. Don't worry, bud. I got some extras. Knock yourself out. The tomb of Mark Aragnos is just a gauntlet of droids. Surely someone could have done something about all this earlier on, but thank God I have Force Lightning, or else this would have been a nightmare. There are absolutely too many of them. Even so, our health is getting rocked, so it's time for some more levels. Canderous gets an attribute point in dexterity, and his next feat is two-weapon fighting. Amazing. Zalbar needs a level as well, with points in strength and, of course, some skill upgrades. But the best part about the tomb is the little autistic robot waiting for us at the end.
Too much audio input. Audio systems overload.
Too much audio input. And finally, the tomb of Tulak Horde. We get roofied by a scary old man, and even so, the spinner wants us to see the light in him. And because of that, he just starts torturing us rather than this guy Fenny folding over here. Too bad he didn't think about the possibility of us teaming up to stop him. All that torture really drained us, so we start off the level giving us advanced throw lightsaber. And this really ended up being a blessing because after dying here so many times, I found that this is the only force power that lets me do damage consistently. Come on, dude. There's no way. Thank you.
I guess he wasn't a true Sith after.
Yo, why is that his death sound? And you know, since we already rolled light side, we keep it up and let our boy go free, leaving us the prize of Tulak Horde's mask. We've impressed the higher ups, and it's time to take the final test in the tomb of Nagasato. This is by far the most difficult tomb on Korriban, starting with the pillar puzzle, where I don't care who you are or how smart of a science person you are, there's no way you solve this puzzle without looking anything up. Do I think it's possible eventually? Sure. But I can't even consider how much time it would take. The next difficult section is a room with 2 Tarantotics. I don't have enough DPS to kill 1, and you're telling me there's 2? At first I tried turning on stealth mode, which, you know, completely forgot that existed the second I got it. But these 2 are just way too aware. So instead, I ran for my life to hit the lever and was able to sneak past them. In the next room, we find a special ice grenade and a special fire grenade to use for the final section. We just need to get around these guys again. But of course, the most unnecessary explosion goes off before the final door, forcing us to use a level up. 1 skill point in awareness and a new power, Wound. But our reward? Korriban star map. If only that were the end of this planet. Uthar and Yathora are waiting for us, and they're just a bunch of haters, man. Uthar wants us to kill Yathora, Yathora wants us to kill Uthar. Everybody's just at each other's necks, and they get mad at me about it. What did I do? But the spinner decides that we're betraying Yathora to be on Uthar's side. And all that really happens is that we need to do 2 fights now. Critical Strike hooks us up though, and they're both donezo. And here I was thinking everyone at the academy would be proud of me. This is the reward I get for passing the final test? Everyone jumping me? All right, man, whatever. The funniest part is Canderous is absolutely surrounded. He doesn't stand a chance at all. He's not even in the same room as us. And to be fair, these guys are strong for just no reason. We actually need to level up both of them because of it. Zalbar gets some more skills and a blaster pistol weapon focus, and Canderous gets improved conditioning, which is actually a great role. But just like that, the academy's been sealed from within, and our time on Korriban is finished. Darth Malak hears the news that his favorite little boy has been killed, and decides to send the next most annoying person he knows after us, Darth Bandon. But that's none of our business because it's Yavin time. We pick up the heavy exoskeleton, and that's all that's calling our name for now. Time for our next planet selection, and we get Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk should be a pretty easy planet for us. We're definitely at a good spot level-wise. It'll just depend on the companions we get. Juhani and Bastila? Oh, this is going to be a breeze. But since it's the first time leveling them in a while, we do have some ground to make up. Juhani gets a whole bunch of levels, but the main points that stick out are Shock, Heal, Night Speed, and Bastila got fucking Gearhead, but then brought it back by unlocking Insanity. As I'm walking through the planet, everyone just keeps saying, sure wish there was a Wookiee around here. This would be a perfect planet if we had a Wookiee companion. And it really just stressed me out to the point that Zalbar's in and Juhani's out. And this is super toxic, by the way. Zalbar's out here traumatized about how he left the planet, his brother exiled him, his father's gone, everyone's throwing slurs his way, Zerka's colonized it, and everyone's like, bring him out, man. Make him live through that trauma. Don't leave him on the ship. But to be fair, Madclaw, sick nickname. We meet Chundar, Zalbar's brother, who essentially sold out Kashyyyk to Zerka. He gives us access to the Shadowlands to search for the star map, but tells us that in return, we need to kill their father, Freyr. Oh man, not your decision. We'll let the dice decide on that. We descend down to the Shadowlands, and I gotta be honest here. The optics are pretty bad, pretty bad. But also, if you want to show off some evil people, you may as well make them skinheads, so I kind of get the reasoning there. But we're not into that bullshit, so we American History X them and keep it moving. In the middle of the Shadowlands, we meet the GOAT, Jolie Bindo, who tells us to come through to his place. And he makes us a deal. He says if we go ahead and take care of those Zerka people, then he'll join the crew. Boy, I tell you, I never ran over to the Zerka officers so fast. We need Jolie. Since Jolie's our boy, we're going to try to honor his request to not kill these guys. But that doesn't mean we can't assist to them getting killed a little bit. These sonic devices are the only thing keeping the wild beasts of the Shadowlands at bay. So if we turn a few of them off, bye-bye Zerka. And hello, Jolie. He's a mandatory party member for the rest of the planet, and our next member is Bastila. That is amazing. Jolie has some levels to catch up on, but his most noticeable upgrades are an upgrade to Wisdom, Force Shield, and Drain Life. And you know what? This is just dumb. Why is Jolie the only one who can get through this force field? I'm okay with it because it makes him need to be in our party, but surely we could have come up with some actual reasoning behind it. I will say it's pretty crazy how quickly you reach the star map on Kashyyyk. We've been in the Shadowlands for at most 10 minutes, and we're already running into the hologram that's keeping guard of it. And as long as you answer his questions like you're a complete sociopath, you're in the clear. Even Jolie says like, oh yeah, you gotta answer this a certain way, bud. Another star map has been unlocked, but we're not done with this planet yet. There's still a few quests we want to wrap up. The first is these Mandalorian raiders, and honestly, I have beef with this. If Mandalorians are supposed to be these proud warriors, why would being unarmed be the trigger to make them appear? Wouldn't that be like just taboo or something in their book? As we run through the Shadowlands, we find Zalbar's father, Freyr. Man, he is not having it with us. Jolie says, man, come on, we're boys. Nope. We spin the wheel to decide his fate, and unfortunately, Freyr's time is up. Just another reason why I hate getting dark side choices, man. I feel bad. I'll tell you who's real excited about it, though. Fucking Chundar. This guy's the worst. Sold out all the Wookiees, killed his dad, has slavers running the planet. Not our business anymore. Zalbar's alive, and we got the star map. We're getting out of here. Man, we thought this was going to be some fun little adventure. Finding our maps, forging bonds. Now look at us. Caught in the tractor beam of the Leviathan. What were we thinking? We know that Saul's going to be on the lookout for us, so one of our companions is going to have to step up. We roll the dice and get mission. Come on, man. You cannot make this up. As we sit in our cells, the spinner decided we need to remain loyal to the light side, no matter how much pain it causes us. And by us, I mean Karth. Don't be such a baby about it, Karth. You were all business a second ago. Guy gets shocked a couple times and says, oh, I really wish you would have helped me just for a moment there. I will say, the more I'm thinking about it though, Mission is a pretty perfect party member for this situation. She has plenty of levels available, which gives us an insane number of skill points. And as long as we can sneak around to open the detention cell, we can get through while barely fighting. But now that the rest of us are free, boy, I tell you, we're about to start cooking. We start off with some levels, giving Karth an attribute point in strength and getting a huge pull with Master Power Shot. The Leviathan has a few problems for us. There are a good amount of enemies all in rapid succession. They throw grenades and use energy shields. Normally this wouldn't be too bad, but it essentially takes an attacking roll away from Karth because his blaster just gets reflected and the grenades do serious damage. If I had more force points, it'd be much easier to get by. But right now, it's just an absolute struggle, forcing us to give Bastila yet another level. Also, we still don't have heal. I absolutely love this cutscene. Why is it zoomed in on Saul just stanced up over there? He knows he's got that shit on. And this just goes to show why Insanity was such a huge force power to get. Bastila single-handedly knocks out 4 of the highest damage dealing enemies, letting us use Force Lightning the rest of the way. And to be safe, we're taking another level, giving us an attribute point in Wisdom, and upgrading Wound to Choke. Saul, being the #1 hater in the game, uses his final words to talk shit, and honestly, I respect it, but we'll see you later, rat. As we try to escape the Leviathan, Malik appears in his fleshy gimp suit and just flexes on Karth. Can you imagine if Karth actually was able to take him out there? Just roll the credits. Nah, what actually happens is Malik drops a major revelation on us, that we're actually Darth Revan. And you know what? This was just a crazy plan by the Jedi Council. They had way too much hope in us and Bastila, and honestly, This should have gone wrong immediately. You're telling me with all the fights we've been in and probable knocks to the head that more memories weren't jogged loose? No way. After realizing we're the former Dark Lord of the Sith, our first order of business is absolutely handling this man. Malik needs to lock in. Oh shit, yeah, once Bastila shows up, he does exactly that. RIP. We get back to the Ebon Hawk and escape with our crew, but they need to know the truth. We are Revan. And the crazy part is, none of them care. Karth just gets gaslit here by every single member of the crew. It's actually insane. That was Malik that bombed your planet, Karth. We all know that. Bro, how do we know that? Are you sure? Thank God everyone was chill about it because we have one planet left to go, Manan. Unfortunately, we run into a bit of a problem here. The recording, Manan, got corrupted. All you need to know is that we poisoned the KOTOR, found the final star map, and got banned from the planet. Yeah, it seems like a lot happened in that brief little lapse. But it's all good because that means all of our star maps are found, and we found a new secret planet anyways that we can go to. The unknown planet is tough. Essentially, everything here can kill us in 1 or 2 hits. It's super lucky we rolled Canderous as one of our party members because a tank is actually game-changing for us right now. Other than Rancor, our enemies on the planet are the Rakata. And I ain't talking cheese. There are 2 sides, the old bags and the one. And I thought I'd be able to communicate with the one or at least get to spin the wheel to possibly change sides. But man, everyone's just so fucking mad at me. All I did was talk to the elders. My bad. Whoa, dude, this is not a race thing. Why would you say that? They're trying to set me up, man. They're trying to cancel me. The one put up a good fight, even forcing us into a Jolie level up, giving us force immunity and master heal. Just a crazy pull. Canderous needs a level up as well, so he gets a point in Constitution and another useless feat in Flurry. And since everyone else is getting a level, I'll take one too. And we get heal. That's perfect. We find our ship parts, save this Elder Warrior from, Jesus Christ, a horrible fate, and run back to the Elders. The Elders decide that this time, they believe we'll actually destroy the Starforge and agree to help us. And their help is in the form of a ritual that will give us access to their sacred temple. But we must enter alone. As the Rakata begin their ritual, Jolie and Juhani, or J-Squad, as we all call them, interrupt. Bill, you can't go in alone. It's a trap. You need us. Man, tell them that. I didn't make the rules. And luckily enough, the Rakata are like, yeah, I guess that's fine. It's really not a big deal. And let us enter together. The game uses this time to show us that Malik ain't got no mouth. And also, how is he speaking like this in the first place? Before we start moving through the temple, we have some levels for Juhani. Our first roll gives her Master Heal, so we shouldn't need to worry about dying for the rest of this run, to be honest. But that's followed up with Sniper Shot, making her easily one of the worst combat characters on our team. But then Master Speed? God, I want to hate her, but I just can't. We kill off all our enemies, solve all their puzzles, and reach the top floor of the temple so we can shut down the planetary disruptor field. But there's someone waiting for us. Bastila. Malik's torture unfortunately worked, and Bastila has turned to the dark side. But the spinner doesn't want us to give up on her. We try to show her the light, but all she would listen to are these hands. She runs off, escaping to the Starforge, and leaving us behind. And with the planetary disruptor shield down, there's only one thing left to do. Signal the Republic to commence their attack on the Starforge. The most consequential moment of the playthrough. Who will be our party members to take down the Starforge? This is rigged. Jolie and Juhani? Dude, I don't care if it's boring. That's amazing. But can you imagine I went into this with T3? We start our assault with the help of a few Jedi Knights, and I swear, they do nothing past this point. You'd think we would all work together as a team, but nope. Since this is the final level, if you want to call it that, we do have some level ups to take care of. We gain a useless feat with Rapid Shot, and then get a crazy roll with Burst of Speed. And we may as well try to keep the good luck rolling. Another level, and our 2 new force powers are Kill and Death Field. At level 19, with Mantle of the Force attached to our lightsaber, our force regeneration is top notch. And with Jolie and Juhani for free healing, we can heal up in between each fight for some better odds. But that did nothing to prepare us for the sheer numbers on the Starforge. Here's the thing. I know the whole point is that it can pump out unlimited droids and battleships, but where are all these Dark Jedi coming from? I guess when I think about it more, I realize it's an actual base where surely the entire or majority of the Sith army is based. But still, man, this is just crazy. The only reasoning I could think of is that the game is forcing us to keep moving forward, and that moving forward is the only way to trigger enemies to stop spawning. We run ahead to get our best in slot armor for the rest of the game, our customized Jedi robes. And compared to the other Jedi robes in the game, these are tough. But really, this section was an absolute problem. By the time we get the robes, our entire team is almost out of force points, health's not looking the best, and just a massive number of enemies. I started thinking, man, should I try to leave everyone behind? Can I try to set some mines up to do extra damage? If I hide, will they find me? And also, can I use that time to regenerate my force points to even do anything? This is a perfect example of why we save our level ups. It took a few tries, but we made it through, we're healed, and our force points are back up. It's time to take on Bastila. The spinner has us taking a dark side approach, and you know what? That's what she gets for the shit she pulled on the other planet. Even though Bastila is the most stubborn person in the world. See, now I understand what everyone else has been saying about her. She's too impulsive, too stubborn, and now look at her. Dead. It may not sound like it, but this one hurts. And with Bastila dead, the tides are turning. All that's left is Malik. I can't even be mad at him. Malik is a top tier hater and final boss. He even emotes on us. And as we start to do damage to him, he just like pauses the battle, says, "Don't you recognize these people? These are Jedi, your friends, your boys." Zapped. At some point, I mean, you just have to respect it. Our strategy for the final fight is not good. Malik resists the majority of our force powers, and our best combat feat is Flurry, so it's definitely not a recipe for success. So what I settled on doing is hitting him with some Force Lightning, running away, and hitting him again. And that was going great until he started sucking the soul out of all these guys. He's a freak, for real. So instead, I had to take my own time to use Death Field on all these Jedi until they looked like dead baby Voldemort. And after a whole lot of cardio, casting Force Lightning between turns, Malik is finally down. And on our final morality check, we take the high road, preaching the wisdom of the Jedi and the light side of the Force. Malik is dead, the Star Forge is destroyed, and you know what that means. We're partying, man. Look at the fellas. We look good. That's a team picture right there. We're missing some members of the team. It's unfortunate, but we pulled it off. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite games of all time, and I've never done a playthrough that's anything like this. The only way I ever played growing up is like completely optimized and not even on the hardest difficulty. So this was definitely a new experience for me. I'd love to do another run like this in the future, so if you have any ideas for other aspects of the game that should be randomized, be sure to let me know in the comments. And if there are any modders out there who can help make the randomization easier, mainly just being automatic, please get to work. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button or subscribe to become one of my war boys. Not sure if you want to be a war boy yet? We'll see about that. Watch this next video while you decide, because it's not like you're doing anything else right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.